Okay, reaction video time. This is from Mark Goldbridge. No way Carragher, meaning Jamie Carragher, said this about Ten Hag. Let's see what he has to say.
Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. If they get the recruitment right, get the right manager, in a couple of years at the most, they should be challenging for the biggest honours. Not my words, the words of Jamie Carragher when talking about Manchester United's appointment of Erik Ten Hag, and he expects them to be back competing for top honours in 2 years, not 10 years, 2 years. I don't believe it.
That makes two of us.
Believe it, and I've got a lot to say on it. But anyway, let's get on with the show. I can't believe Jamie Carragher has said this. He said it didn't take long for Thomas Tuchel to turn things round when he came into Chelsea. This idea of 4 or 5 years to turn a club round like Manchester United, you don't need that. And as I said, a couple of years at the most, and they should be challenging for titles, major titles as well. I think
A couple years, major titles. I don't see that happening. They've got a long way to go.
Look, as a United fan, That's Football. A big manager appointment. Everyone's got a right to have an opinion on it. Don't need to be a United fan, and Jamie Carragher's got every right as well. I just can't believe he said that. I cannot believe he has said that United can be challenging for top honours in 2 years. I mean, some people will be saying he's talking facts. He's talking facts, Mark. I think he's talking crap. I really do. I think it completely underestimates.
I don't know what Jamie Carragher is looking at either, because right now Manchester United looks like a complete shell of themselves. They do not look like they're any good at all, and it doesn't look like it's going to be getting any better in the near future.
The situation, and I almost put it back and say, is this Jamie Carragher, the Liverpool fan, trying to put pressure?
I don't think so. I don't think he's just trying to wind Manchester United up. I think he looks at it and thinks that anything can be rectified with some transfer windows. In fact, Ralph Ragnick was pretty much saying the same thing.
Pressure on Man United from day one because he doesn't want it to work, and that may well be an angle. But I remember when Liverpool got Jurgen Klopp, and I was like, I actually didn't think he would be able to turn it around. I thought it was impossible.
Jurgen Klopp is one of the best managers in football right now for Liverpool, and Liverpool's trying for 4 trophies.
So, look, how is it that you can turn Man United around, the worst ever Premier League side we've ever had? Like, they are factually the worst Premier League side we've ever had. So the worst team in 30 years at least. They're going to get the lowest points total we've ever had, and they're absolutely crap.
Manchester United is absolutely, like you said, one of the worst. This is one of the worst seasons I've ever seen a Manchester United team have. And I didn't think it was going to get any lower than David Moyes. But it looks like they may be out of European football altogether.
They've basically gift-wrapped points to Liverpool and City this year. We didn't even score against Liverpool. So I don't know whether we scored against City.
Jadon Sancho scored against City.
I think we did score against City. We scored at the Etihad. But we're an embarrassment. That we're right at the bottom of the barrel. And yet, you've got Carragher saying that United can be back competing with the best Man City side they've ever had, one of the best Liverpool, well, certainly the best Liverpool side in Premier League era they've ever had, with managers that are building teams that look like they're going to be around for the next 3 or 4 years, and they're going to be around for 3 or 4 years. But Man United, at their lowest ever point, are going to be competing with this Liverpool and Man City train that's just not getting any worse in 2 years. I mean, it's disrespectful to Liverpool and Man City, and it's massively optimistic about Manchester United.
I don't think it's insulting to say something like that. I think he's looking at Manchester United, and I think he's thinking the allure is still there, that if you're a top player and Manchester United wants you, that you're going to want to go. Manchester United does have a history of winning trophies.
United, we've spent 1.2 billion, something like that, in 9 years. Money is not the problem to spend, it's how you spend it. We've got a team that is...
That's why the backroom staff has to be overhauled in a big way.
So got so many divides in it, so many cliques in it, so many crap players on massive money that are not going to go anywhere.
And I wouldn't call them crap players. There are so many players that are just not at the standard that you would want them to be at, and that's just the way it is. Like I said, they're not crap. They just aren't what Manchester United is used to. I mean, when you were spoon-fed the Sir Alex Ferguson years, and you're winning trophies left, right, and center, and you're playing in Champions League finals, you're winning a couple of Champions League, you're always winning the Premier League, or pretty much close to always winning the Premier League. you get used to it. So a player like Harry Maguire, who I don't believe is crap, who's just not at Manchester United standard. Harry Maguire is called crap, but when actuality he's just not the level at Manchester United. There's a lot of players that aren't at that level.
As a United fan, I look at it and I'll go, look, if you can buy me a brand new team, Jamie, and I can, and 90% of those signings are good signings, then maybe in 2 years' time we could be competing. But I'm not going to get a brand new team this summer. In fact, it might take 2 years to get the team right. So how can you compete with Liverpool?
It might even take longer than that. Just because you get a good player doesn't necessarily mean they're going to work out for Manchester United.
Or Man City, or maybe a Chelsea, or maybe a Newcastle, or an Arsenal, whoever, when it's going to take 2 years to build your team. And my example is Arteta. Arteta's been at Arsenal for longer than 2 years. They won an FA Cup 2 years ago, didn't they? He's still not built his team. They are progressing. So I just think that
Arteta has a plan, okay? And Arteta knows what he wants. He knows how he wants his team to play. Now, they don't always succeed, but you can always see that there's a plan in place, and the players do play for Arteta. So that's what you see with Arsenal right now. And Manchester United, that's who they play tomorrow. And it'll be interesting to see if, now, from what I understand, Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be back for that game. And Manchester United beat Arsenal 3-2 earlier in the year. Are we going to see the same kind of thing at the Emirates?
You've got to be very, very careful in setting targets, because I think everybody's impatient and everybody wants it to happen really quickly. But using the Tuchel thing as well, that's ridiculous.
And that's something I've said before is Manchester United, are they going to have the patience?
Lampard is not a good coach. I actually have got to say that I actually thought Everton...
I think Lampard is a decent coach. He just may not be the coach of the Premier League level. I thought he did it reasonably well with Derby County, getting them to the final of the promotion battle. He may not be Premier League level or elite level coach, but he certainly is a manager who I think did a good job with Derby County. To say he's not a very good coach, I'm not so sure I agree with that.
And had done a good deal with Lampard. I'd listened to Lampard talk as a pundit. I think he comes across really intelligent, but as a coach, I don't think he's all that. And I think at Chelsea, he was given an array of fantastic talent and he messed it up. And I think Tuchel came in as a top coach and already had a very good squad that was capable of winning the Champions League and was one striker away, I think, from being a league title.
And see, this is the English arrogance that always comes up. And they don't even know it when they're saying it, is, calling Lampard not very good coach because he's not at the level, when he was at Chelsea. He did reasonably well at Chelsea. He didn't do, he wasn't the answer by any stretch of the imagination, but he won some pretty big games at Chelsea and they did some good things there. But most people are going to remember Frank Lampard as a player for Chelsea, not as a manager for Chelsea. He did, I don't think Frank Lampard is a bad coach. He just isn't a coach for that level.
Title contender this year. So you can't say, well, it only took Tuchel next to no time to be competing for major trophies. The squad that Tuchel took on at Chelsea was very different to the squad that Ten Hag's going to take on.
Yeah, the Chelsea had a good team. Let's face it. You have some solid players there, and they end up winning. Took them to the Champions League final, and where they beat Manchester City 1-0. Tuchel is a good manager for 3 or 4 seasons, but that's about all he's really good for. He wasn't very good at PSG. He was reasonably decent at Dortmund, but it'll be interesting to see what Tuchel's going to do going forward. Manchester United had a chance. Was talking about Manchester United was looking to hire Tuchel before they got Ten Hag, if the papers are to be believed.
That Chelsea squad has got people like Kante in it, Kovacic, Mason Mount, Rudiger, loads and loads and loads of really talented players that are hungry for success. At Manchester United, we've got loads and loads and loads of rich.
The big difference between Chelsea and Manchester United is that at Chelsea you have options. If you don't like Mount or if you don't like players like that, you can always bring in a Pulisic. You can always bring in a Havertz. In fact, right now, from the Lukaku was scoring goals for fun in Serie A, makes a move to Chelsea, and really can't put him in the game against Arsenal. Really didn't do a whole lot. Was substituted after 60 minutes.
Players who are shit and not hungry for success. So you can't compare it to Chelsea. Plus, at Chelsea, they've got a very good structure. They might not have it at the moment. I'm sure they will have it again very soon. But they've got a very good structure around the manager. They'll back that manager. They'll remove players that aren't good enough. United don't have a good structure. We might have a good manager, but we don't have a good structure.
Chelsea's going to lose a lot of players who are out of contract, and other players are going to look to move on because they aren't getting enough playing time to suit them. The only question I really have right now is Timo Werner is now scoring goals. Is that going to persuade him to stay at Chelsea? I've heard him linked to Borussia Dortmund.
Structure. So at Chelsea, if Tuchel comes in and goes, look, I think Lukaku's a problem, we need to remove him, that club will get rid of him. Even though they spent £100 million on him, they'll get rid of him. They've done it in the past, they'll do it again. They've done it with managers, they'll do it again. If Eric Ten Hag comes in and goes, right, you've got 3 players there that Solskjaer's bought or given contracts to that just aren't good enough, I need to get rid of them. Man United will go, yeah, the problem with that, Eric, they're on 200 grand a week, they've got 4 years left on their deal, and we spent tens of millions of pounds on them.
In other words, we want a return on our investment. We don't want to just piss money away off of, and I can understand that. I mean, it's understandable. It may not be the way you need to run a football club, but it's certainly understandable why they're thinking. That's how Americans think. And I'm not saying English people don't think like that, but that's what's going to happen probably. And if you're used to just, taking a loss on these saleable assets, then go ahead and do it. If you've got a bottomless pit of money, go ahead. But I see both sides of it.
If we kick him out the door, we're going to lose a lot of money. I don't care. We're here to play football. Yeah, we did say that in the interview, but actually we are really interested in the money side of things. We've got dividends to give to the guys in America, and money is very important to us. So as much as we take on board...
Rank has its privileges, and if you own the club, you can run it however you see fit, even if it gets the ire of the fan base. Okay, that is just the way it is. And if you don't like it, that's too darn bad. Okay, that's just the way it is. Now, granted, I don't know that I agree with what the Glazers are doing. I don't know that I'm their biggest fan. I'm not a Manchester United fan. But, you've got to do what you think is right because you own the club. You bought it. You own the rights. You own the rights to it. And so you do what you see fit, whether it makes them happy or not.
That you don't want those players to play. We're not going to be getting rid of them because we're not writing off 50, 60, 70, 80 million on them. So just crap.
Yeah, it's easy for him to say, 50, 60, 80 million, whatever it is, and 80 million, you're talking about Harry Maguire. If you put Harry Maguire up for sale, how much are you going to get for him? You paid 80 million for the man. Okay, Manchester City was interested in him, but you paid 80 million and got him.
Crack on with what you got, mate. So it's not that's a big problem.
Although it does make it interesting to think what would happen if Harry Maguire had gone to Manchester City.
But United as well. It's not just about recruitment, which we've not been great at anyway. It's also about removal of players that are clearly not good enough. And I look at that United side that played against...
Oh, don't worry about that. That's coming this summer, whether you like it or not. There's some players who are going to be leaving, whether you want them to or not. Probably you're going to want them to, but who are you going to replace them with?
Liverpool on Tuesday and has been crap all season. We've got 10 of the top 30 Premier League earners at Manchester United.
10 of the top 30 earners at Manchester United making a killing for doing absolutely nothing.
10 of the top 30. We haven't got 10 of the top 30 players. So we've got a lot of players on a lot of money who are on long contracts and are negotiating new contracts unbelievably. And most of them wouldn't even get a matchday squad of Chelsea, Liverpool or Man City. So when you're talking about 2 years at Man United, you're not just talking about 3 or 4 signings and that team challenge.
Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rashford, Harry Maguire, those are the names you hear. Paul Pogba is going to be gone, but Paul Pogba hasn't done anything for you.
Just for a title. No. We haven't got 3 or 4 players in the squad that are good enough to challenge for a title at the moment because you need better players around them. And that is going to be the problem. Plus, you're throwing in a manager that's very...
The only player you have that's worth anything is David De Gea
Exciting, who's never managed here before.
and Cristiano Ronaldo.
You're throwing him into a situation where he's almost being sandwiched. You've got Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City who are better. You've got Newcastle who've got loads of money who are going to get better coming up from behind.
Newcastle's a team you're going to have to look at in the coming years. Just because you got a huge investment with billionaires doesn't necessarily mean it's going to turn around immediately. It took Manchester City a while. It took Chelsea. Well, Chelsea had to hire Jose Mourinho.
Behind, you never know what could happen with a Leicester or an Everton or a Wolves or someone like that. Plus, you've got Arsenal and Spurs, maybe a Villa as well. So United are not competing in a transfer market where they can go, we want that midfielder, we want that striker, we want that. There's European teams, and there's also Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Villa, Newcastle, Spurs, Arsenal, just off the top of my head, that are going to be competing for the same players. This ain't, if Eric Ten Hag,
and there's no guarantee that Manchester United is going to get those players,
has Man United competing for a title or a Champions League in 2 years' time, he'll have done an amazing job. And I think Carragher's way off. And I think he talks a lot of sense sometimes. I think he's absolutely way off. I don't know what you think, but I think he's absolutely way off.
I think he's way off too, because it's a matter of getting the right players that you want. I don't see any players, top players, wanting to go to Manchester United right now based on the atmosphere that there is there. I mean, Ten Hag is a good manager, but he's never managed at this level before. It is somewhat of a risk to take Ten Hag, even though he's done reasonably well at Ajax. Almost took him to the Champions League final, lost to Tottenham.
I think we could win a trophy in the next 2 years. I think we can become.
I'm not so sure about that, but yeah, I think you could. I think anything can happen. I mean, you could win a League Cup, assuming things go your way. You can win a FA Cup, assuming things go your way. But there's no guarantee that's going to happen.
Comfortably the top 4 contender every year in 2 years' time, and I think we can.
I don't know about that either. But okay, look, it really depends on what happens. This is going to be a big summer for Manchester United.
Closer to the title in 2 years, but to say that a good transfer, it's about the players, it's about a good transfer window. It's not. It's more than that. It's way more than that. And I think throwing around 2 years, I don't think any Man United fans going to be talking about that if they truly know the problems that we've got. And as I said, maybe Carragher's doing it because he's a Liverpool fan. Maybe he's doing it because he's not fully aware of the problem. But United's only a few weeks ago would be described as rotten from top to bottom. We appoint one manager and suddenly everything can be solved in 2 years. The board is still massively questionable. The owners are still massively questionable. The playing staff is still massively questionable. We don't know what the new coaching setup's going to be.
From a Manchester United perspective, he's 100% correct. This is not a very good setup. And like I said, your Ten Hag it's not like he's managed all over the top leagues in all Europe, and now he's going to Manchester United, and he's going to want things done his way. One of the big things was getting some of the best talent out of that Ajax academy there. He's not going to have an academy like that at Manchester United.
We don't know what the new recruitment structure is going to be, but even if we get it right tomorrow, it's not going to be all sorted in 2 years. Some of these things will take a long time. So, as a United fan, I can't have a go at Carragher or anybody else saying 2 years and then say, no. What do I think? I think everything needs to go right. I think you need to have the right manager with the right power. I think it's like any place else. I mean, he says it needs to go right. Well, yeah, everything needs to go right. Everything needs to go peaches and cream. You have to have a setup in place, the right people with the right goals in mind, and you have to find the right players and get them on board and bring them on board, and hopefully they work out. It's one thing to go to your FIFA setup and on your Xbox or your PlayStation and pick who you want and go from there, and they'll play like gangbusters for you. But it's another thing entirely to do it in real life. Needs 5 or 6 players this summer. I think there needs to be what I said on the United.
And who are these 5 or 6 players that you're going to get?
There needs to be a big statement. A big player needs kicking out of that club.
Who's that big player that you want to kick out? Is it going to be Harry Maguire, is that the big player you're talking about? I'm sure that's one everybody wants to get out. But if you're talking about a big player who wants to get out, it's not Cristiano Ronaldo. It's who do you have in mind? David De Gea, Bruno Fernandes. Which player are you going to kick out? Bruno Fernandes just signed a contract. Who are you going to kick out?
Not Pogba, because we know he's going to go anyway. Not Lingard.
It's not Harry Maguire, is it?
A player under a big contract who was bought for big money, who's clearly not good enough, needs to be sold this summer to make every.
Yeah, he's saying Harry Maguire. That's who he's saying. We bought £80 million for Harry Maguire. He's not good enough, so we're going to sell him. He's also the team captain that everybody's been wanting to get rid of. That's what you have going.
Everybody in that squad crap themselves and realise they're not very powerful at all. And also to send a statement that we're not here to mess about. We will get rid of a player that's cost us a lot of money, because we're not just about the money, we're about being a football club. If we get
translation, we need to sell Harry Maguire, get rid of him immediately, and send waves through the entire squad that you're not safe. That's what he's saying right there. I don't think he's saying anybody else. 80 all you needed to say was bought for a lot of money, Harry Maguire, and sell him on because he's not good enough.
The signing's right. If the current players that stay improve, I think next season we fight for fourth.
You're going to fight for fourth. You're fighting for fourth right now, but like I said, you're going to be losing a lot of players in the summer. Who are these players that you're going to bring in? Who do you think it's possible to bring? Who wants to come to Manchester United in this situation?
If we're lucky, we might go deep in a domestic tournament. We don't know what European tournament we're going to be in, so I can't talk about that. If we're in the Europa
you may not even be in a European tournament.
League, I think we should be looking to win it. Season 2.
Yeah, absolutely. You're Manchester United, right? Everybody knows when Manchester United is in a European tournament, and you may as well go and win it. I mean, they're certainly going to be, be the favorites, aren't they? I mean, let's face it, they're a team that lost on penalties to Villarreal a couple years ago. I mean, yeah, certainly, yeah. If you're in the Europa League conference, whatever, yeah, go ahead and win it. That's what you got to do.
You've got to have a summer like this again. You've got to add another 5 players. You've got to remove.
Yep, another 5 players. You had 5 players, 5 more players, top class, top quality. I don't know who you're going to go after. Maybe you'll get Kylian Mbappe. He might be available. I'll tell you, you're talking about top players of the first. Why don't you get Lewandowski? He's looking to move from Bayern Munich. You can put him in the front in your front line for you. Who knows? I mean, I'm trying to think of some of the other players that are out there for you. Yeah, certainly. Why not? Go after them. Saka from Arsenal, maybe Smith Rowe. Who knows? Christian Pulisic from Chelsea. He's not happy there at Chelsea. He's not getting enough playing time. Why don't you bring him in too?
Move another 5 players, and then you're stronger into Season 2. Season 2, you want to be comfortably in the top 4. You want to be going deeper in the Champions League.
Absolutely. You're already in the top 4. You're already in the Champions League. You want to go deeper. You want to go past the rounds. You should be in the semifinals by then. And then as far as the Premier League is concerned, we can accept the second place, second place, as long as it's not Manchester City and Liverpool. Those are 2 biggest rivals. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll figure it out.
You've qualified the season before, and you do want to be winning a domestic trophy, and that's 2 years.
Yep, FA Cup, win the League Cup. Yeah, you don't have to win the Premier League, FA Cup and League Cup. The FA Cup, win that, that'll get you to the Community Shield.
2 years done. Season 3, again, another good transfer window, the removal of the final bit of the shit, and then in Season 3, which is...
Now, I don't know if he's talking Fantasyland or not, okay? But it's, again, it's a lot of this is based on, hey, we're Manchester United. We want you. Come to daddy. And they're just going to come and with their faces, they're going to need plastic surgery to remove their smiles. They're going to sign the dotted line, and they'll be happy to be at Manchester United. And Manchester United will start that ascent to the top of the table, top of the mountain, and everybody will be happy, especially the Manchester United fans.
It's 3 years, you're then saying, right, we really want to be on the coattails of who's going for the title. We really want to be going really deep in the Champions League.
Oh, you don't want to be on their coattails. Who are you kidding? You want to win it, okay? You want it to be back in the saddle where you're at the top of the league and they're on your coattails. Come on.
And we definitely want to be winning one of the domestic trophies. So for me, that's the 3-year plan.
Does a Community Shield count as a domestic trophy? Because if you're going to try to win a domestic trophy the year before, and you win the Community Shield, but you don't win the FA Cup, and you don't win the League Cup, does the Community Shield count?
Year 1, 4th place, win the Europa League if you're in it. Maybe if we're lucky, get to a final of a domestic trophy. Year 2, comfortably in the top 4. Deep in the Champions League, hopefully winning a domestic trophy. Year 3, on the coattails of the title, deeper into the Champions League, and definitely winning a trophy that year. That's the 3-year plan for me. And I think even that is only dependent if you get everything right with the right support around the manager. Anyway, thanks for...
I don't know about any of that, even if you get everything right around the manager, that it's a 3-year plan. Okay, I mean, you can believe that if you want, but, well, he clearly does. But no, I think, look, even what if you don't get it right? And who are these players that are going to come in here and transform your club in a 3-year plan? And who are these players that are crap that you want to get rid of? Come on.
Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. Do check out Top 11. You can scan the QR code to download it with your phone. Just hold your camera up against the QR code and you can download it. It's free to play. It's a fantastic game and I think you'll have a lot of fun on it. And it's got this new 3D feature that you need to be checking out. You can play against your mates. You can play with yourself. Check it out with Top 11. And obviously we've got a big weekend on That's Football. We've got the Boxing Fury fight on Tuesday night. We've got...
Okay, that was Mark Goldbridge, and he's a Manchester United fan, clearly, and he was talking about what Jamie Carragher said again about Ten Hag and how long it's going to take them to get. I don't think it's going to take 2 years. I think we're talking about a 5 or 6 year plan at the least, and he just gave his end of what he think would a 3-year plan if everything goes. Hey, look, here's the thing. First of all, I encourage you to listen to Mark Goldbridge or watch Mark Goldbridge's videos. He's very entertaining. Especially when he does his watch-alongs. He does use a few salty words, salty language, as you heard in this video. But certainly I do recommend listening to Mark Goldbridge. Really an entertaining individual. Click like and subscribe for him. Click like and subscribe for me. But I saw this video and I wanted to respond to it. Thanks very much. Appreciate for listening. Hit the like and subscribe and have a good rest of your day.